got a really good ability to be technical when things aren't going exactly right. I think, sometimes all the rest of us outside of, the fans and some of the people, react a little more emotionally. But, the real key to the drill is I think when things aren't going well with your team, you have to sit down and be technical and show them these are the things we need to improve on, not get emotional and go crazy, because the players want to play well. I mean, nobody feels worse when something doesn't go right than the player. So it's not just about the coach. And I think Kirby was always really good at that when he was a defensive coordinator with us. When we had a bad game or we didn't defend something properly, he was really good about being technical about how to fix it.
Yeah, both these guys obviously went to the Saban University of Coaching and now having massive success. Top 5 matchup yet again. Another time this season we have a marquee matchup that we get to be at and chit-chat about. Have you ever, because this is Texas, Georgia, first time SEC, obviously. These new alignments are bringing these new games earlier in the year. I think everybody's pumped about it, and the ratings are saying that. Have you ever played out here, and what do you expect of this type of environment for Georgia?
Yeah, we played out here 2 years ago. First game we...
Oh, yeah, we were here.
Yeah, we opened. Yeah.
Wait, we called that game. Yeah, we were on the sideline again.
Like 125 degrees in the shade. It was really tough. But... the atmosphere here, I think you're going to see it grow into more and more of a SEC atmosphere because they're going to have more games like this that are going to have huge national and playoff, implications. And, the people here will, they'll get into it because they'll go see some of these other places. And, Texas has great tradition, but I think their fans are going to become SEC fans in a hurry.
Allegedly, the stadium ops, the one in Alabama we talked about. AJ, that Alabama stadium, the way it is operated is awesome, right? We talked about that.
The best. Unbelievable experience for game days, yeah.
So that was Miss Terry's, from what I've been told, Miss Terry is the coach of that operation whenever the Sabans move into Alabama's head coaching operation. Allegedly here, they hired somebody like 4 or 5 years ago from Penn State that kind of started that entire thing. And they said over the last few years, like the stadium ops and the way that matters. I don't think people really think about it. It does matter how the stadium is.
It matters a whole bunch because, you got dead time in the game.
Yo, Spiky Zedgehog, what's good? Yo, what's good, bro? I'm just painting this little Chief helmet.
To keep people
I'll show you.
engaged, you have to have other things going on in the game. And
I'm pretty much done.
Really
I just gotta do some like final touch-ups and shit.
And everywhere we'd go,
but
Miss Terry went to all the
like there's gold on this part. I need to paint green and shit.
She would say, come back and say, why don't we do that? Why don't we play this music during that? Why don't we have these lights? And it's entertaining, and people sing songs and light up their phone at the same time and do the wave. I mean, that's the fun of the game. That I think keeps people engaged, excited, and enthusiastic, and I think it's very important.
Yeah, keeps them engaged so that when a random third down comes in the middle of the third quarter or the middle of the second quarter, and they've been tailgating all day, they haven't fallen off waiting for the fourth quarter. It's like
looks good. Hey, thanks, Spikey. Appreciate you, bro.
Have you heard these choppers that have been flying over? There's choppers.
I'm gonna try to add. If you look at the actual like model from like Halo Infinite, there's like a bunch of like silver on like the edges where like the paint has kind of like worn away. I'm gonna try to do that too. We'll see. What you listen to right now? I'm watching it's the Pat McAfee show. So it's like a sports show. He talks about like football and all sorts of sports. Right now, he's talking about college football, though, because there's Texas and Georgia play tomorrow, I believe.
Nightclub for like
Today's Friday.
Minutes, and then bang, they're right back to action. It's like, how can you not be invested in the game there? Excited to see what this is like tomorrow. AJ has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, you mentioned this is the entertainment business. Like,
oh, I didn't realize.
Have you always thought that way, or is that something that evolved as you got in order in the coaching game? I know there's some coaches that are, want to put their head down. Say,
yo, my bad. I just realized that you're probably hearing an echo because the sound is going through the stream and through my mic. So 1 second. Let me fix that.
Well, I think that I realize that it's
hold up
business, but I also wanted to keep the team and the things
it's because
do with the
hold
team
up. Wait a minute.
To get the team ready to play
and
sort of create the culture in the organization.
And then Big Booty Yuri, I see you. 1 second. I'll answer your question.
Not to allow that to be affected by the entertainment business, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you gotta separate.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be able to.
Okay, cool. So yo, let me turn this down a little bit.
The main thing's happening. everybody else be doing their job as well.
So yo,
Right.
hi, did you make this or just paint it? No, I'm just painting it. So I got this for free when I went to the Halo World Championship. There was a guy in the stands that had like a big bag of these, and he was just like tossing them out for free. So it was all white. I'm just painting it.
Plus, it's also, you know, important for the university itself. I don't think anybody really realizes that the football program is probably the window that most people look at a university. It's not the engineering school. It should be.
Right.
'cause
We
it's a university.
mad
It
respect
should
to the
be.
engineers. Mad respect.
But they look at it through the athletic program, and so, you know, to understand that and make it an entertaining part of what you're doing for people outside.
Oh, nice.
I
That's
think
so cool. Hey,
creates
thank you.
Value for the university.
Yeah, it was really
creates
cool that they were
value
handing
for
out free.
the program,
I was pretty
creates
hyped about
value
it.
for your team.
Yeah, the brand can be strong, and that'll help out the football team because more eyes on your program, more money coming into your program, more interest in your program means more five-star recruits. And to quote the great Nick Saban, I found out quickly I can't coach bad players.
Can't coach bad players to play good. Really.
Now, you were one of the first coaches, I think. They give you credit, you and Beamer, I believe, is who the game day people give credit to, for like whenever game day wanted to come to town. Like you were very, yes, would like to have game day here, kind of understood it all. Hey, so I think to AJ's question, he's been like this, I think, since the beginning, right? You've kind of understood that you can.
Absolutely. I think, you know, what you give.
Yo, what up, Drew the Giant? Hey, Spartan, nice helmet. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. I got it for free at Worlds. I'm just painting it. But I think it's turned out pretty good. I gotta do some touch-ups. Like that gold shouldn't be on the green. The gold's not fully on there all the way.
That Sark's coming on the show today. He doesn't have to. Obviously,
But
doesn't have to. Very thankful for it. I think he's coming on.
it's mostly done.
Everybody that has come from the Saban University understands the vehicle and the avenue of like, hey, it's okay if people get to know my personality a little bit. It's probably going to help in recruiting and see my face. And see the
Yo, Spikey's Hedgehog, what else you live on? What do you mean? Like, what else do I listen to? Or like,
Indiana has a big one this
so I play a lot of Halo. I play a lot of video games. When it comes to what I listen to, if it's sports, the Pat McAfee show, like I'm listening to right now. I listen to a lot of the Joe Rogan podcast. I listen to a lot of different podcasts in general. Not just Joe Rogan's. You play M&K or controller? Controller. And then can't wait to see a finished product. Hey, thanks, man. Like I said, it's basically finished. Just got a few things I want to touch up. There's a spot I can see on the helmet where this gold isn't on all the way. You can actually see green through it. So I want to touch that up. There's gold on the helmet that needs to be green. I got to touch that up. It's basically already done, like all the major work. It just needs touch-ups.
Quarterback coaches, and I think, you know, that's one thing Sark is. He's a really good quarterback coach as well as a good play caller. And I think Kirk Cignetti is the same way, and that's why his quarterback's playing so well.
Why do you think, and the quarterback obviously playing well with good offense, and they put people away, though, at the end. Being able to flip that culture. He credited the transfer portal because he got a lot of guys from JMU that know his culture. He brought his offense coordinator, defense coordinator over from JMU. But in Indiana, we live there. That place was never going to be a good football team. And then he comes in there so quickly. Why do you think Kirk Cignetti's able to do that? And how many people are able to do that?
Well, I think he hit the transfer portal, which has helped them play better defense. I think he hit the quarterback, which has certainly been, and they've got some decent skill guys, which has helped them be able to throw the ball effectively. But I also think that the proof is going to be in the pudding this week because I think Nebraska has a little better defense than what they've been playing against. So if they can actually do it against this style of defense, I think they're for real as an offensive football team and as a total team.
I love the fact that you.
Yo, so I'll be in and out of chat. Gotta do some stuff around the house, but I'll have your stream up. Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate you. And then Drew, you play controller as well. I used to play M&K when Halo Combat Evolve came out, and that's about it. I feel you.
Congratulations, son. Did the full way to go. You know, as if he like won a bowl. And he goes, nah, we're not selling. We're halfway through the race. That's literally what he said. He was trying to downplay it all. Sounds like no rat poison is entering Bloomington. We'll see. Big one against Nebraska. Conman has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, we're at the point now with Kalen DeBoer and Bama where every week it feels like whatever he does, people just say like, well, Saban would have done this or Saban would have, worn something else on the sideline. When it comes to things like that, did you ever have to deal with something like that where it was like you were replacing either a legendary coach or a coach that was beloved and everyone was comparing you to the guy before? And how do you think Kalen DeBoer's handling that because he is being compared to the greatest of all time and yourself?
Well, I think that anytime you have a successful coach, I felt that a little bit when I was a coach at Michigan State because George Perlos had won the Big Ten championship there. Of course, I was on his staff. back then as defensive coordinator. And he had a lot of people who really believed in, what he did, the discipline, the culture that he created, and all that. So when I went there, I was expected to do things almost exactly like he did them because I had been on the staff. But yet, through the years, I've learned some other ways to do things because of being with Belichick and, some people
No,
like
what are
that.
you
So,
live streaming on?
sometimes
Okay, I see what you're saying.
why don't you do it a certain way? I do think that this
YouTube,
is a
I'm
tough
live on there twice
transition for
actually.
him,
You're watching the
is
shorts
anytime you
view of
take
it.
over
I'm
a
also live on like a full
and
format
I
view
don't
of it.
wanna be judgmental
I'm also
about what
on
they do
Twitch,
because I think he has to do what he
Kick,
does his
and
way.
Facebook.
He can't be me. He can't try to be somebody that he isn't. And I think there's more than one way to skin a cat, and I actually think the guy's been successful, and I think his way will work. I just think it's adjustment for a lot of the fans and the people, but I think he'll win them over because he's a good guy and he's a good coach, and he's got a good system and a good organization, and I'm just trying to be supportive and helpful any way that I can so he can make a smooth transition.
Modern world, let's say that it doesn't end up how everybody hoped it would end up for Alabama this year. I'm not saying that's going to happen, saying there has been glimpses of that potentially happening. Let's say a lot of guys transfer out. Possible, right? A lot of people transferring out Alabama. Then he gets his guys in, or tries to. How long do you think Alabama fans realistically give somebody like maybe get their own? I'm not saying this is all going to happen. This is a hypothetical. I don't want it to happen. I like Kalen DeBoer. I like Alabama. Hypothetical, though. How long do you think in modern world do you really have to potentially have this?
Well, I think one thing that doesn't get acknowledged is the fact that when I retired, there was 26 players that transferred.
Yeah, 'cause
You know,
there's like a
nobody
2-week
talks
period,
about that.
right? There's a 2-week
Yeah.
period where they're allowed to just go in and
Yeah,
pitch.
and Isaiah Bond was a pretty good player. He would be an impact player if he was still at Alabama, especially with some of the players that they have now. So then Proctor leaves, then he comes back.
Caleb.
So yeah, Caleb Downs is I mean, look, I looked at all the guys in the draft last year because I did the draft. He was a freshman, and if he was a junior or senior in the draft, he would have been probably the first safety taken in the draft.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty significant player. So they really lost a lot, and people don't talk about that. Now they got a few guys in, but I do think there's going to be a transition, and he's got to get his people in there, and he'll get the opportunity to recruit them and do it. And I can't make any predictions about the future in terms of what people's patience are going to be, but they don't have a lot of patience at Alabama. They have high expectations. You can't get caught up in that. You got to just focus on what you got to do to make the team play as well as you can, and don't let any of that stuff affect you. And that's one of the things that I think allowed me to not lose my mind while I was there, because we got criticized every time we lost a game. I don't know how many
Texas.
times I heard Paul Feinbaum say, "This is the beginning of the end." I mean, but it never was. But he said it a lot.
He just said that about Georgia actually yesterday, I think. Literally just said it yesterday.
You only have to lose one game with Paul.
Well, he's got high standards. Paul Feinbaum's got those high standards. I mean, after it happened here, people were, and you doing our show last year, I mean, that was, everybody was thinking he's gone. As soon as you guys had a little hiccup, he's gone. And then you end up being one of the Final Four teams. College football is a wild place. It is a wild place. It's been awesome this year, Coach.
Yeah.
College football has been, I mean, I assume every year.
It's great. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns now in college football with the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness and all the things that are going on. But when the season actually starts, and I think the 12-team playoff has added a lot to fan interest and people's interest in general, because there's 25 or 30 teams that halfway through the season still have a chance to get in the playoffs. And even if you have one loss, or even, like even in Georgia's case, if they have 2 losses, they're still going to be, if they finish the season, they've got enough good teams that they have to beat that they'll be able to get in the playoffs. So you don't lose the fan base, and you have so many more fan bases that are engaged.
This conversation is going to happen tomorrow. I'm excited for the world to hear it, because they have a great graphic that's going to be on game day tomorrow about all the teams that are still very much in it, very much in it. And with the conference championship automatic bid, I assume there's a lot of teams that aren't even going to be on the graphic tomorrow, 30 deep, that are going to be like, well, there's still a road for us to win our championship and get in there.
Right.
It's a good thing.
West
I
Virginia.
think it's well,
Yeah, West Virginia.
bingo.
West Virginia,
Bingo.
come on
Bingo.
now. Trust the climb, baby.
Bingo.
Having fun.
And I'll mention this much in defense of West Virginia.
Yes.
there were times
Oh no! I
with
got.
Georgia
Damn it!
and with us at Alabama when we did not
Damn it,
win
damn it,
the
damn it.
SEC and we won the national championship. So you got hope.
I don't
right?
know. I don't know if that's the same situation.
Is that apples to apples?
Georgia,
apples, right?
Georgia, Bama,
I agree.
West
I agree. You're right.
Virginia.
Yeah, well, hang on to it. You're right.
Might have
Ty
to.
has a question for you back in Indianapolis.
Same tier.
Yeah, Coach, anytime people talk about Bill Belichick throughout his career in the NFL, they talked about how he'd score over the rule book to kind of find little nuances that he could, use to his advantage. We just saw Dan Lanning do this with Oregon coming out of the timeout with the 12 men on the field, taking the penalty and then the runoff. And then the NCAA promptly turned around and basically said, hey, we've closed that loophole. You can't do this anymore. What'd you think of that decision? Was it kind of knee-jerk, or do you agree with that? And how often over the course of your career did you have situations like this where it's like, oh, we can really kind of manipulate the rules here to our advantage?
First of all, I think that this happened at some point. You guys know more about this than I do. A few years ago in the NFL,
Okay.
where they had a similar situation and they just changed the rule to 12 guys on the field was a dead ball foul. So no time went off the clock, which I feel like that's the way it should be. I don't think that you run a play with 12 guys on the field, which minimizes your chances on offense of having success, even though you still could have success. And then you lose time in the game, and the time is more important than the plays.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so can't fault a coach for trying to take advantage of the rules. I always had somebody on the staff who was in charge of rules. And they would always give us a report on, all right, if this situation occurred, what should we do in that situation to take advantage of the rules, or what would be a disadvantage for us, and what would, so that's kind of how I tried to manage it. I didn't spend a lot of time because I was a guy that was always about execution, man. And what our team did was the most important thing. So I wasn't trying to create some advantage by, taking advantage of the other team or the rules, but because I always told our players, it's going to be about what we do. So I didn't want everybody to think we're trying to do something outside of our team that was going to help us win. It was going to be about what we did.
Got it. I understand that. Let's look in the mirror and do that. With that being said, Coach Lanning had somebody on the staff, I'd assume, or maybe he's the one that thought of it, for them to call a timeout in the moment and be like, hey, we're in it. They probably been, as you know, you said you had a guy that did the rules and come through it, probably pitched that in the offseason or maybe 2 years ago. Like, hey, if we're ever in a situation where we can put 12 men on the field, they're outside of field goal range, won't really matter, it'll be no play, they run the clock down with less than 30 seconds left. For them to remember it, execute it, and have it happen, and then beat college football seemingly and get a win, I have respect for it, because there's a couple rules that have been changed off of things that I've done in special teams. Because usually special teams is where you can
Right.
really exploit the rules, if you will.
Right.
For that moment to come together the way it did, wild. How'd you feel about that Oregon-Ohio State game?
Well, I was really impressed with Oregon, especially their offense. Ohio State's defense was, and I think this is the thing you have to be careful of, is, we talk about these teams that have the number one defense in the country. They're the number one scoring defense. But who did they play to come up with those stats?
Who'd they beat?
And then they play somebody really good, and they sort of get, exposed a little bit. And you start to wonder, exactly how good are they, especially when they play somebody good, because that's when it counts. And in college football, I think that the rules favor the offense. Being able to block down the field, throw RPOs, throw advantage throws, throw screens and block people and crack people. I mean, it's tough to play as good a defense now as you used to and be able to win the game on defense. So I was really impressed with Oregon, the way they played on defense against a great Ohio State offensive team with a lot of weapons. And then the way that Oregon just, sort of picked Ohio State apart. They didn't affect the quarterback in any way. And
Yeah, time.
yeah, and he had time, but they didn't ever pressure.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just four guys rush, which, that's kind of an antiquated way to play defense. And I'm not being critical of somebody's philosophy at Ohio State, but, there's so much four-man rush, simulated pressure, still able to play the coverages that you play, drop different people, rush somebody that is supposed to be dropping, drop somebody that's supposed to be rushing. And these things are ways to get pressure without giving up anything.
Yeah.
And coverage. And you know, I think in this day and age of football, you got to go down that road a little bit, or you're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're referring to here about teams being ranked, whatever they're ranked on the offense or defense side of the ball. Ohio State defense is number 1 in the country, I think, right, Tone? Going into Oregon?
Still?
Yeah,
All
they
right.
were. No, Texas is now.
Yeah, Texas.
Going in,
Now
going in.
Texas is.
They were number 1, of course, yeah. So let's talk about that. So Tone Diggs there mentioned this week, like maybe Oregon had a little bit more calluses from earlier in the season from how they played. Had to win a couple games that were tough, Idaho, and then obviously Boise State. And they kind of got, I don't want to say exposed a little bit going into the year, but they had some tough fights. They're wondering about this team here with, you know, Georgia's been in some tough, callous fights.
Right.
Texas has seemingly been able to do whatever they want. How big of an advantage is that, you think, to a team that's been through some shit early in the season? Obviously, USF, everybody will go back to with your
Right.
team last year. Do you like that as a coach, that there's a little bit of early adversity, man?
Yeah, I do. I like early on for, you know, us to sort of find out who we are. And, you know, Georgia is a team that has the heart of a champion, which they showed in the Alabama game when they got behind 28-0 or 30-7 or whatever it was. And they came back in the game and actually went ahead in the game when everybody said this is never going to happen. So when you're playing a team like that, you got to play for 60 minutes, obviously. But I do think that Texas defense is very good. I'm not criticizing it at all. But I also don't think that they've been really tested like they're going to be tested in this game because Georgia has a really good quarterback. They've been a very effective passing team. They've had some balance on offense in terms of run pass. So they're going to get tested tomorrow more than they have all year long.
I can't wait to watch it. Let's go back to the NFL a little bit quickly. Amari Cooper just got traded to the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Alabama man. He is, and this is, I don't know if it's a wild take. No, I think everybody agrees. There's never a peep out of Amari Cooper, ever. Any of this. Goes to the Raiders, ends up with the Cowboys, ends up at the Browns. He has monster numbers with everybody. This year hasn't been as great, but never complains as a guy who's been a number 1 wide receiver, been a first-round pick, everything like that. Him going to the Bills. Do you think this is a good reset for Amari Cooper this particular season? And have you talked to him, or what do we not know about Amari Cooper maybe?
Yeah, I think Amari Cooper's a great player, and I think he'll make a huge impact with the Bills, who have a good offensive team, good quarterback, and all that. But I think Amari Cooper sometimes is a little bit misunderstood because he's such a quiet guy. I mean, he went through 3 or 4 years at Alabama, however long he was there, and I don't know if we ever had a conversation. I mean, he was never in trouble. I mean, he never came in my office. He did everything he was supposed to do. He's a great person. Went to class, did everything he asked, practiced hard, did everything, but never said a word. So sometimes as a coach, you feel like, well, this guy's not really with it, or he's not really with us. But he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great competitor. He made a lot of plays that made huge impacts in games, and I think he has the capability of doing that. So I think when you have a player like that sometimes in your organization or as a coach, you think this guy's really not competing, or he's really not the kind of guy that is engaged with the team. But he really is in his own way. He's just a very shy personality.
So that might be why some people maybe have a feeling or whatever, because he's just quiet. He's just a
Quiet.
Josh Allen would love that. Josh Allen would do the talking for him, I
Yeah.
think, right, from what I've been told. in his
Yeah,
career.
I mean, you're talking about a guy that didn't learn how to drive until he was a sophomore and junior in college.
Well,
He never had a driver's
Why is
license.
that?
Because he just
Well, just
never said anything.
He's so fast. He runs
came
everywhere.
from, tough area in Miami. You got a great mama, but it's just some people are a little bit socially maybe not as engaged in their growth
Introverts.
process.
Introverts.
Yeah, and that's the way he is. I love the guy. I'd have him on. If I was coaching the team, I'd want him on my team.
Coach Saban, all right, we got 11 guys playing on the offensive side. One of them, I'm never going to hear from. Never. Like, there's never going to be a problem. He's going to do his shit. I would love to have that guy. If we could have 10 others, too, every other position, it would be fantastic.
Especially at wide receiver.
Bingo.
Yeah,
That's kinda-
neat.
I mean,
that.
you talk about energy vampires. They go crazy at that position. They all want the ball. They don't want to block. All right, how many passes I'm gonna catch? I mean, it's a
Why is that, Coach?
call them energy.
Why is that?
energy
position?
Wait, what?
Why is that a receiver thing? Like, it seems like that's.
And do they
receiver.
have to have that?
Well, because I think because you might play 65, 70 plays in the game, and maybe you get targeted 5 times, and maybe you catch 3 balls, and you're running crazy, you know, those other 65 plays, but you
How am I projected to-
insignificant, and nobody wants to be insignificant. They want the ball.
10, 20, 30,
And it's
40,
so easy
50,
to give it to a
60.
running back. So these guys just, you know, that's one thing I loved about Julio Jones.
That was dumb.
Julio Jones changed the culture of the receiver position
Oh, well.
at Alabama when he came there in our first recruiting class, because this guy wanted to be on the kickoff team. He would block. He was physical. He wanted the ball. He broke his hand, played in the game. Everybody said this guy's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks. He played in the next game, caught the ball, never complained. But he changed the culture of the position because he wasn't worried about getting the ball. He's a competitor, man. He just wanted to win. He wanted to dominate the guy he was playing against. And it changed the whole position for us. And we had some great wideouts through the years. And a lot of it was because he changed the culture at the position. I remember one time, it's like 10 years after he's played at Alabama. And we're in summer conditioning, and we have 7-on-7, and the coaches aren't allowed on the field. So Julio's like train and rehab and all that at Alabama. So he's out there watching 7-on-7. Some receiver misses a ball, looks at the quarterback, cusses the quarterback, cusses the DB, you know, kicks the ball. Julio calls him over and says, he hadn't played for 10 years now. He called the guy over and said, that's not how we do it here.
Man, that's
I mean, you talk about a dog. That was it.
well, talk about a culture, brother. I mean, that isn't just obviously Julio. That's like your program, your culture has people wanting to come back and uphold it. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. He's what, 6'4"?
He's a
6'5"?
Yeah, he's 6'3", 6'4", but strapped, man.
Massive.
Physical, fast.
And good.
And he was quiet, too. And, you know, we were recruiting him. I was afraid we didn't have very good skill guys when we went there. So we signed 4 receivers, committed to us. And Julio hadn't committed yet. And I called him on the phone. I said, Julio, and he was our #1 guy. I said, I don't want you to be affected by the fact that we already got 4 receivers and you haven't committed yet. I hope that doesn't affect your decision making to come to Alabama. He said, Coach, you could sign 100 guys and I wouldn't care.
It's not going to matter.
The #1 overall.
You know, it is not going to matter. Julio is a beast, as are you. Can't wait to do the show tomorrow with you. College Game Day.
What are you doing,
You're
kitty?
going to kill it on TV.
Thanks. Well, I'm trying.
You know that big ass.
You're a big help to me, though. I mean, really, you make
What
me
are you
feel
doing?
relaxed. You
Too
know,
relaxed.
because
Speaking of
not
vitamins, you know how-
I'm not taking anything that you take.
I understand. I understand. You know that big ass cow.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Look at this kitty.
I have some
Look at
breaking
this
news
kitty.
that just broke while we've been talking.
He's just a good
Uga
boy.
will not be
He's
making the
just a
trip
good
to
kitty,
Cleveland.
man.
What
'Cause
happened?
He's
I
too
don't know.
he's
It
too
happened-
he's too young, so he's a 2-year-old puppy, and they said it's too far of a trip because it's a new Uga. He's a little too wild.
Bruh.
He's not making the trip, which is
Look at this kitty.
That's all.
Look at this kitty.
Bevo,
Aw.
the first game day I did, what was that, 2 years ago?
Aw.
Bevo almost took a guy out. You
Yeah.
remember that?
Oh yeah.
Bevo and Uga have
Bevo-
a pass.
You know, it was dumping over our shoulder the one we were
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
at
Red
Watchung
River.
once,
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
Right there.
Last
Big
year.
dunk.
Yeah. Huge dump. Huge
All
dump.
right, Coach. All right, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, coach.
As he gets Saban out of there. Remember there's a clip of us
was
speaking,
gross.
right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Bevo is right over our shoulder.
Yeah, leaking
dumping.
fuel.
Yeah.
Someone sent the thing to me and said, someone want to tell these guys that Bevo is just
No, we
dumping
know.
his life
We know.
away?
Yeah.
I didn't know in the moment.
Big booty, hurry with the alert.
Feeling your eyeballs.
And we're actually about to.
Breeze from
Boom.
him passing
So while we
weight
wait
on the
for-
way
No, they told me Bevo's dumps don't smell. That's why he makes
While we
them
wait for
His
the
farmhands
helmet to
eat
dry,
burgers all game and
swap over to this and do some editing of some
Santa
clips,
Claus tell you that?
turn
shall we?
around and say, hey, get right in the back of these dudes' shot.
yeah, it's actually a great shot. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, it was sweet.
How about Coach Saban?
Coach
Pretty
is
excited.
Still bringing it.
He's pretty
he's
pumped
the
for the game,
best.
huh?
He is still bringing it. He is actually the best. Listen to him talk. Julio Jones too wasn't he the #1 overall
I would
recruit
assume
of his
so.
class?
I would
Yeah,
assume
pretty
so.
sure he was.
Julio Jones, you talk about that, like that attitude and mentality that he has, and you couple it with his size and speed and strength. Like, that's why he's Julio Jones.
I mean, he's pretty good.
There's a highlight reel of him just destroying dudes after his quarterback was throwing interceptions. Like there's a whole
yeah.
entire highlight reel.
Oh, I don't think I
Like,
downloaded the right
on the field
VOD.
as a wide receiver. Like it doesn't surprise me that
Fuck.
he wanted to run down on kickoff too.
He's a monster. He said he changed their whole receiver. That's
awesome.
That's a real thing, though. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Cooper just being silent. Also,
I know.
pretty
I
sweet.
was the Green Bay Packers for a while. I know guys like Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. Like their whole how they approach the game, like that was passed down. Devontae Adams learned from
James
those guys.
Jones.
Yeah.
James Jones. Like there's a ton of them where it's like, hey, you can't get out of line because everybody here, they're all workers.
Yeah, and they do have like if you look at the history of the Bama.
Another
receivers, like, who is it
another
maybe
stream,
after?
dude.
Was it Amari Cooper actually?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley. Like
Yep.
they have actually just every single year, and now Ryan Williams. Like Ryan Williams is one of the best receivers in the country. 17 years old. Yeah.
Pat, I think you might be set up. You
Wait,
Coach
hold up.
Sark There, they're trying to get everybody wired up. What's up, Pat? You guys doing all right?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, national champion, multiple time head coach of Texas, former Saskatchewan Rough Rider.
Yeah.
Hell
Nobody
yeah.
talks about it. His mic's
Sling it.
off again. Hold on. Hold on.
There it is.
And Saskatchewan Rough Rider. We did not know that till this morning. We looked it up. Dog. How about dog?
Legend.
Underappreciated as a. Now, let's talk. You just, as you guys were talking right there about Julio Jones being a beast, he said, I got a Julio story. And he like started, I'm like, I want to hear it on air. You coached Julio.
I coached Julio for 2 years in Atlanta, and it was 2018. We're going into week 17. We're playing in Tampa. Okay.
Your face, you're too handsome.
Yeah, week 17 in Tampa. We're not going to the playoffs. We're ineligible for the playoffs. Antonio Brown decides not to play week 17. So Julio has won the receiving crown. He's the leading receiver in the NFL. He decides to play. It's a tight game. We're behind, and we're trying to get into field goal range right there at the end, and we're going to run the ball. This guy's won the receiving title. He's already got 100 yards in the game, and we call an outside zone, and he push cracks his safety and knocks the guy out with a minute to go in the game.
Julio.
Hey, with a minute to go in the game, gets called for a 15-yard penalty for like hitting the guy too hard. Okay, which is
Too
like
tough.
Yeah, hitting him too hard. So now he's got to go make a play on third down again, which converts that again, and then we kick a field goal and win. I mean, that would just epitomizes who that guy was.
So coming out of high school, he was the same guy. Hey, sounds like we need to pay a little bit more respect to Julio Jones. I think all of us and the boys back in Indianapolis are very thankful that you joined us, Sark. We did not expect this. Obviously, day before this big of a game. I guess you're just used to this, though. This is what Texas has become now, and I think you were obviously hired to do this. There was a lot of hype. Can anybody win in Texas? There's so many people, maybe so much money, so many people talking. Is Texas ever going to be able to win in this modern day? You've come in and done that. How has it been here at Texas, and how excited are you that the program is where it is right now?
It's been amazing. You know, it's definitely been a journey. You know, people forget we were 5-7 in year one.
Yeah,
You know,
we're fine.
and we were losing. Like we had the lead. We lost 6 straight games. We had the lead in the second half of every one of those 6 games.
Heartbreaking.
It was, we had to learn how to win. Then we get 8-5. After year one, we have 0 players drafted in the NFL draft. We go 8-5 in year 2. We have 5 guys go. Bijan goes in the first round. In year 3, we go 12-2. We're conference champs. We make the college football playoff. We break the school record. We have 11 guys drafted, and now we're in year 4, and we're playing pretty good football. We're in the SEC. It's been a blast, man.
And we're protected, obviously, as something's happening somewhere. I think the president is potentially moving, or that might be Nick Saban.
It's probably Nick Saban, for sure. For sure. The guy goes nowhere without a police escort.
Okay, so let's talk about Coach Saban. Obviously, you and Kirby both have come through the Nick Saban Coaching University. What did you learn there? What have you tried to institute here in your own program? And what do you know about Kirby because of the time that you were at Saban?
Yeah, so a couple things is one, you know, I had been kind of raised by Pete Carroll. And so there was this whole coaching style of the Pete Carroll, the loose, the fun, but yet driven, focused, and guys, you know, he was a national champ, Super Bowl champ. And then I get with Nick Saban, and it's like, boom, we're going to operate like in this box that is not very big. But what I learned is these guys coached to their personality, and who they were was naturally how they coached, and their teams took on their personality. So what I took out of it was when I got this job here was, okay, who am I? And then how do I want our team to be? And so I think I've got a lot of Nick Saban in me. I think I've got a lot of Pete Carroll in me, and morphing those two things together into our team has been big. Kirby, the one thing I know is they're going to play great defense, and they're going to be intense, and they're going to play hard. They're going to be physical. They've recruited great. You know, Georgia really has been the standard of college football now for about the last 6 or 7 years. I think they've been to 6 SEC championship games, 3 national championship games. So it is what it is. They're going to come in here. They're not going to be afraid of 105,000. They're going to come ready to play.
Feinbaum said they lose to you, it's over for them though forever. So
That's a typical Paul.
Yeah, but
Paul
Kirby
quote,
didn't hear that. Kirby didn't hear that.
That's a typical Paul quote. Like it's just this. It's 0 or it's 100. Like, there's never anywhere in between.
Let's talk about 0 to 100. Big 12 obviously is West Virginia's conference now. You know that. You don't have to say anything more. Coming into the SEC.
Yep.
Okay, you have history obviously in the SEC. Georgia SEC matchup here in October. This is massive. And then you got a bunch of games still
Sure.
left that are
Heck
not
yeah.
going to be easy. How do you feel about the SEC and Texas being together?
But that's, to me, that is the SEC. It's like people want to get up for one game. In this conference, it's not about one game. It's surviving all 8 and what that looks like. And it's week in and week out, and the mental intensity that you have to have every week. But yet the physicality and the depth that you have to have on your roster to endure
You'll
what
get
an
exposed,
SEC.
right?
Oh my gosh, will you quickly. And we've seen it already in this conference. I mean, some really good teams have gone down that people are probably surprised by.
Yeah, a lot of depth too. I mean, shout out to Vandy. This ain't same old Vandy.
Yeah.
Heck no, it's not.
It is not. And let's talk about that. NIL, transfer portal. Obviously, you've had success with that, and
Yeah.
you're going to have to in the modern era. How do you feel about where we are in college football right now and how it applies to your team?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this about college football. I think from a popularity standpoint, we're at an all-time high, man.
All-time- hey,
we're at all-time high, baby.
College football is
It's
winning
amazing, man.
and showing up every week.
It's amazing. I think this new playoff is going to be incredible for college football. But I also think we have to continually adapt as programs, right? Times are changing, right? NIL has changed, revenue sharing coming, what that's going to look like, conference realignment. And we've been preaching that all along. It was something I got from Coach Saban, adapt or die. There's a reason dinosaurs aren't on the earth anymore. They didn't adapt. And so
Stupid dinosaurs.
yeah, they didn't adapt. And so
Check out Wi-Fi.
we've tried to adapt to the times and use some of the new things to our advantage, but yet not lose sight of it, holding true to who we are and what we're about.
Before the boys have questions back in Indianapolis, and once again, I can't thank you enough for taking time here. The Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers conversation brewed quickly.
Yes.
I was part of it.
Yeah.
So I apologize for
That's okay.
adding even more into it. I've known Arch since he's a little boy.
Yeah.
I've seen Arch since he's just a little boy. Probably smaller than the size of Cooper's hat last week.
How about that,
That
hat,
was
man?
awesome.
Where did he hat? That's a fair hat all the way.
Mr. Cuppers is one of the greatest humans to ever exist.
Yeah.
I mean, just him being a part of it all is fantastic. But like the amount of depth you just have across the board
Right.
at all positions is huge. It's going to be huge for the SEC football. When Arch comes in, plays the way he does, when Ewers gets hurt, he leaves. There was never a doubt by you or from basically the Manning family or anybody. Everybody was rowing in the same direction. This is Quinn Ewers' team. This is Quinn Ewers' team. How do you think Quinn has handled it, and what do you expect out of Quinn on this massive stage with
Yeah,
Georgia?
I give both those guys a lot of credit for how they've handled this. I think Arch is Quinn's biggest supporter, and when Arch was playing, I think Quinn was his biggest supporter.
Dope.
And that's a really cool sign of a great team, right? And the teammates that they are, and the way they support one another. It's not easy when the backup goes in and he might get a louder ovation than you get as the starter.
Name's Manning.
Yeah, I mean, it just
That's
is.
gonna
It
happen.
just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think the acknowledgement of that, understanding the situation, those guys, like I said, supporting one another, I think has been huge. One thing I know about Quinn, big games come, that guy shows up, and he's played really good football for us in all the big games we've been in, and obviously we've got a big one here tomorrow. I expect that guy to show up.
I can't wait to watch your team. AJ has a question for you back in Thunderdome.
Yeah, hey, Coach, obviously huge game tomorrow. I'm just wondering, whatever the last thing you say to your team as a group before they head out, is that something you plan? Is it more organic? Like, do you have any idea what you might say now? I'm sure people ask you this as like a cliche question and everything, but I'm just wondering how much time you actually put into that, or do you just want to go off the top of your head?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of both. We have some themes throughout the week that we try to get to. But ultimately, the one thing I always try to remind our team of when we take the field is go be us. Like, we don't have to try to go be something that we're not. We've got a certain style in which we like to play the game. We've got a certain swagger in which we try to take the field with and go attack the game that way. I think when we're loose and we're confident and we're believing in what we're doing, we're at our best. And so that's what we try to go do.
How much is McConaughey channeling the power of the sun on the sideline?
Yeah, the minister of culture.
How's that helping
yeah.
the team every single week? That's got to help.
I think it's great, and Matthew's been an amazing supporter of Texas football for a long, long time. And so through the good times, through some of the tough times, that guy's been there and supporting this thing. And so him being on the sidelines, I'm sure there'll be a few more. I think Durant's showing up tomorrow.
KD's gonna be here.
KD's going to be here. He's a big Longhorn football
Yeah,
fan.
he paid for the practice facility, I think, for the basketball team.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
a brand new one.
Yeah, so, games like this, they all come out, but I will say this about Matthew McConaughey. It doesn't matter. It's week in and week out. That guy supports us.
Yeah, he was in Michigan. I think he was sick. He almost didn't make kickoff.
Yeah, he was there though. He was there. He was at the Cotton Bowl last week. I mean, that guy, he's definitely here supporting.
I saw him in Michigan on the sideline, and I had not known because I didn't have service because there are so many humans and phones need to figure it out. You know, so I couldn't get any text messages or any update. I guess he was like really close to missing kickoff. And I guess it was because he was very sick. I guess they were like kind of running some tests in the morning. Not like, I think it was like flu, COVID, but whatever it was. He gets there and I go, God, you look so good. He goes, I've lost like 10 pounds in the last 24 hours, brother. I'm like, okay. And then he turned around sick. I almost didn't make it. Huge. And I'm like, great to see him. And he turns around immediately. He got the first down. He's the loudest on the sideline for the first. His energy is just so infectious, man.
How about last year during the Bama game? You guys are standing right there, and the touchdown to Worthy right in front of you guys. It's a great shot.
And
man.
his genuine happiness,
Yes, he's
pure joy for how big of a star he is. What a weapon for your team, but also like just Texas as a whole. He loves the university. I think a lot of people do,
Yeah.
which is a weapon for you. I've been looking around the stadium.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So where's our loud? Because these look real nice over here.
Down there.
That's
That
not-
for your students.
Loud.
Loud.
Very.
That's where it's at.
How's
And
the
then
light
it's
show?
orange smoke. Well, the drone show is going to go up tomorrow. In between the third and fourth quarter, we'll have a drone show up right off the east side of the stadium.
We got fireworks. going on?
Fireworks going tomorrow. We'll have a light show going on. We'll have orange smoke. All sorts of stuff's going on tomorrow.
All right, we're 20 seconds until a hard out on ESPN. We'll continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, TikTok Live, and every other social media platform. This is Coach Sarkisian. He's the head coach of the Texas Longhorns. They take on the Georgia Bulldogs tomorrow. College Game Day will be live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Their fans gonna show up?
They'll be here. They'll be here, man.
See you on Monday. Look, we just hit that hard out right there. So
I love that. I love
See
that.
We did
Big time, brother.
That's good. We're still live, though. We are still live, Coach. We are still live. Let's make sure, let's not give away any strategic
got it,
or anything like that.
You got the Luke Casey hat on. I like that.
So Parker McCollum, you know who he is?
Yeah.
So he's Texas music boy.
Yeah.
He wears this hat, gave me this hat. And as I was packing this morning, early morning, Coach, flying
Yeah.
down here.
Yeah.
Early. Texas is much further than people give it credit. It's a 2.5-hour flight here.
Big state.
From India. Big state. Big
Real
state.
big,
A lot
big
of people.
state.
This morning I wake up, I say, you know what? This is in tribute to Parker McCollum, that super handsome Texas son of a bitch who sings the hell out of some songs. So I put it on because I feel good in Texas.
Yeah.
I love this state. Great place.
Hey, so we got a shirt we wear around here that I think is kind of fitting for you and your show. All right, and some interpret this differently than others. Okay, you can interpret it however you want. Okay, but our guys believe in that mantra around here. Okay.
Fast as fuck.
Fuck around, find out.
That was fuck around.
Oh, I didn't know if we just had super speed. You're talking about. Okay, we're finding out. A lot of
Yeah.
people are finding out.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, with the
Yeah.
horns in the
Sweet.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, got the horns in. I don't want to be upside down.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize for doing that.
That looks good on you, man.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
dude. Faff.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, AJ, why don't you faffo one time, buddy?
Bitch.
That's pretty.
Why don't you faffo? Faffo one time.
Is that like your
Appreciate
You got
off-season,
it, brother.
off-season mantra, coach, or is that just who came up with this one?
We kind of adopted that last year, and it's kind of just continued to carry over, man. So we bought into that one, and so
Got to be a tough team, right?
Gotta be,
Everybody
gotta be,
talks
man.
about football being like highlights and offensive heavy and yada yada yada. You have to be a tough football team. I think not everybody, some people have forgotten that. I think in 2024.
well, the other saying we have, you have to choose violence. In football, you have to choose violence because if you don't, you're probably going to get beat.
Hell yeah.
Tone Diggs has a question for you back in the Thunderdome, pal.
Yeah, Coach, you guys currently have the favorites for the O-line to win the Joe Moore Award, which is the top O-line in the country. How nice is it calling plays when you got that Texas beef up front?
It's huge, man. You know, we've got two.
You got
elite
that
tackles,
Texas
in my
beef.
opinion, but I think both those guys are first-round picks. But the thing that we got a 4-year starter at center. And how valuable is a center, not only on your offense, but on your team? Because those guys, the offensive line is always the personality. It starts to
Yeah,
kinda
10
shape
seconds
your
till
locker
this
room.
clip is
Everybody
done
wants to talk
downloading
about
and I can
the
start
DBs and
editing it.
receivers,
Yeah,
but when the
keep watching
O-line's
this.
got that camaraderie, when they've got
I just
that
have the sound to help
personality
pass
and
the time
that
for a second.
confidence, I think that permeates throughout the team.
3
I saw
seconds,
them
2
walking down
seconds,
here.
1 second,
I don't
0
know if you know
second.
this, Bert Austin and
Done.
specialists were sitting over
Hey.
here or there for a bit during
So
the
then
program.
we can get
Your
this
team
off
walked down here. I don't know if
screen.
you had a walkthrough or what was going on. That some of them had some food, looked like they were eating well.
And
They were all
boop.
super confident. The big boys walked through and they did.
Oh.
They brought the boom.
Yeah, they did.
brought the
Guns
boom
out,
to
guns out,
you.
guns out.
Yeah, they bring the boom.
Yeah.
They do the entirety of it. Ty Schmidt has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, just curious, is there anything that's you've noticed, like in terms of your coaching philosophy or the way you go about things that has changed over the last few years now that you guys really have Roland that maybe, say, 5 or 6 years ago you'd say, like, oh, that was a little bit of a deficiency in my coaching style, but now that's something I've really excelled at?
Yeah, I want to give Coach Saban a shout out on that. That was in my time at Alabama. The one thing I learned was the level of consistency he approached every day. And you guys are probably seeing it even when he comes on the show. He is so diligent.
That is
He's
so funny. So I
diligent.
really did. I played against that Mr. Chief Slade GG guy. I went 16 and like 8 or whatever. Kicked his ass. And then in the very following game, I play with him instead of against him, and I did terrible and we lost. And then he wants to like talk shit to me like I'm ass. And it's like, bro, you literally just played against me and I stomped on you. So like you know that I'm not that dog shit. I just had a bad game. And what I finished? 16 and 9. And what he finished? 7 and 15. Dog, shut. Oh, I wish I would have said that in the moment, bro. I wish I would have said that in the moment. So I went 6 and 9 that game, but then the following game, same map with him and some other kid, I do terrible. We get our ass kicked in Slayer, and I went like what?
Well, that's what he said.
I went 5 and 12.
He was like very appreciative of the
So it's like, yeah, I definitely was the reason we lost that game. But like, bro, you literally just played against me the previous game, and I like killed your whole team. That is pretty bad though. 5 and 12, 12 and 12, 13 and 13, 17 and 13, 5 and 12. Yeah, it was definitely the reason we lost. We lost by 3 kills. Yeah, that was definitely the reason we lost. Oh well.
On the offensive side, do you
It happens.
that today in how you kind of treat every single adversity that potentially pops up with your team?
We really do. We almost welcome some adversity because I think that's when we find out about ourselves, and then when we see how we respond to it, that helps for adversity down the road.
Have you faced enough this year, you think? Because that is one question going into this game, people.
No, it is, and I mean, I guess if there's a question you'd like to have about your team, it's that.
Yeah. Hey, we really struggled.
Yeah, I've tried to generate some of that. I think the first quarter of OU was good. The fact that, we have
One shot in my body.
3 drives in a row.
One shot in my
3
body,
plays,
back
we
mud,
have
bottom.
13 yards, but then we found out our defense could kind of hold down the fort until the offense got going. So I think adversity is good for you because life is 10% what happens to us, 90% how we react to it. And so our reaction to that adversity, I think, is as important of anything.
Connor has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, mention your record first 2 years. And obviously now you guys are rolling, have been the last 2 years. What do you kind of look for in players when you are recruiting them to bring your guys per se? And has it gotten easier now that you're in the SEC and you got Arch Manning? It's like, hey, I got Arch fucking Manning, bitch. Everybody wanted it. I got it.
What people forget about Arch, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the pictures. When he was a kid, he was wearing Texas shirts.
Yeah, he
Texas
chose,
jerseys.
obviously.
This
and that's
was
why you
something.
guys went to the SEC, because Archie said he's only going to an SEC school. So
Yeah, well,
that's what happened.
You can say that.
I'm joking.
No, but I think that obviously we all want to recruit big, fast, physical people, right? And talented people. One thing we've held on to, we never sacrifice. We always try to hold to what our culture is and who the person is as much as who the player is, because we value our culture so much that I think our makeup of our team, there's a lot of talented players in our locker room, but they're really good dudes. And these guys like to, it's a want to, not a have to for them. They love being great teammates to one another, and I think it shows in the way we play.
Yeah, and it definitely showed in the way they walked across this field. I'm telling you, it was a connected bunch, feeling good. Speaking of feeling good, I heard you're a Dodgers fan?
I'm a Dodgers fan.
Let's go.
I know.
There's a chance.
There is a chance.
What do you think? You think you're there?
Well, I value that they're loaded, first of all, okay? Sure. And they're hitting the ball right now. When they're hitting like that, it's a pretty good omen.
Baseball one year, that was...
I went to college as a baseball player.
Did not know that.
I went to USC as a baseball player, transferred back to junior
This shit right here was
college,
great.
sports,
This guy shoots me, he knows I'm here.
What were you, pitcher?
And he just keeps shooting.
Wasn't good enough. Couldn't throw hard enough.
Like he literally just keeps shooting at me, and this bullet's just like flying right past me, hitting the wall next to me.
You have to hit that slider, right? And you're like, wow, that thing moved.
Pitch!
Let's go back to football. See if I can be smart enough to throw it to the fast guys and let them run and catch.
Hey, we appreciate the hell out of it. The LA Dodgers, I guess Yankees is probably what it's going to be. Is that, or the Guardians going to come back, Ty?
No. Last night was a fun little story, but we're going to get the matchup everyone
Fun
wants.
fact.
Pitch.
Team
Pitch.
in baseball, Aaron Boone.
Pretty good
Yeah.
manager, even though they were trying to run him out of town. Aren't you guys trying to fire him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he doesn't win this year, the sentiment will be the same. Get him the fuck out. He needs
Hey,
to
but
win.
This is his
Come
right.
on,
Dave,
his
but
teammate.
who doesn't want a Dodger Yankee World Series? I mean,
Cleveland.
I get that. No offense to Cleveland, but in all reality, we all want an LA New York World Series.
I mean, it'll be big, especially with
Yeah.
Shohei bringing the numbers that he's bringing. They said like 12 or 13 million people watching Japan.
Incredible.
That's the biggest number that they've had
Incredible.
ever for a postseason game.
Incredible.
Can't wait to see what tomorrow's number is. Your team is must watch, as is Georgia. Thank you for stopping by. I think you're stopping by game day tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, I can't
All right,
wait
brother.
to watch your brain
Appreciate
unfold
you,
in
man.
front of the Zotron. Who lets the whole world know you can. I don't even know if you can replace that one with any other word.
Funk, maybe?
Oh, get the funk.
Out of my face. Get the funk. Out of my face.
Out of my face. Yeah, funk around and find out for sure, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Sarkisian.
Appreciate it, Coach. I know Pat will wrap up with him. I know. Comment. What do you think about Coach Stark? You think they're ready to go?
Oh yeah, I think
Texas
it's awesome.
Longhorns?
They're definitely ready to go. I mean, I feel like same thing with Ohio State, Oregon. It's like both teams are going to be ready to go. It's legitimately going to come down to the end. I mean, and even Georgia, Bama, the other big game in the SEC that's already happened. Like,
Unbelievable. Huge games we get every single week.
Yeah, but they're getting blown
College
out no
football's
matter
awesome.
what.
And people were pouting about this with the realignment.
Well, what were they? Were people pouting that? Hey, the sanctity of college football is gone. I
Some
remember
bullshit
We
like
talked
that.
about it early on. Like, hey, we're going to see some big time
Well, you're not going to
matchups
see
actually
like
early.
you don't get to see like Texas and Texas Tech play anymore, and that's tough.
Which sucks. I mean, no doubt
Texas and
about it.
Missouri aren't going to play anymore, even though they are. But that kind of stuff is. I mean, and now we're just getting marquee top 5 matchups literally every single week.
And we could definitely get an Oregon-Ohio State matchup again in the Big Ten championship.
In
So,
Indianapolis. Ooh. Yeah, I realized that yesterday when someone said.
Indianapolis, honestly, it may be like nobody is happier than them for the Big Ten championship.
I got him.
No doubt.
Weak in top A, one whirlpool. He's to your left. There's a guy on you.
Northwest.
One back, Hydro.
Triple kill.
Ohio
Where's
State
the?
Buckeyes better fucking get their act
they'll
together.
be all right.
They won't be
Triple-
here either.
What do you think, Pat? You think Iowa's going to make it? You think Ohio State gets in the Big Ten championship, Pat?
Well, I think every once in a while, Ohio State needs to remember this. Okay, they need to remember this. They went to Oregon, they did one of these. Okay, but I believe with what
One back, Hydro.
Kirby after that Alabama game,
Triple kill.
after they lost, he goes, "This might be the greatest thing that has ever happened."
One back, Hydro.
That same situation could be kind of instituted for Ohio State. It's like, a little bit of a reset here. Let's go ahead, a little bit of a perspective setter, a little bit of let's go ahead and refocus on what we have to refocus on and get going. That's why the Texas thing is interesting about the adversity. Whenever he says it's not a bad thing to have that be your problem, is that you haven't had enough problems. He said, but it's certainly something that you're looking for whenever you can find it. I think college football has been awesome, and I think this has been the reason why each week you have no idea what's going to happen.
And the play on the field has been great. People were worried about what's it going to look like. Guys are transferring back.
Lost the lead.
Get into this last hour of making picks or whatever.
Yeah.
You talk about getting better and getting better. Kickers have gotten better and better. Okay, that's all they've done. Kickers have just went ahead and figured it out. Now, what's the NFL trying to do, AJ? Tell me what they're trying to
I
do.
heard a rumor that they're trying to narrow the goalpost.
Whoa.
Is that real?
What? What are we doing? This ain't the same football I grew up on. They're trying to narrow the post. What is this, state fair football? What the hell are we going to do next? We're going to make the football smaller maybe because guys are not able to catch it as good if that starts happening. Make the football bigger because quarterbacks are throwing it. Maybe make it a little bit more. What are we talking about here? I'm just now learning. He's
Oh, that
a
was for the-
NFL. He needs
Oh, he
to
won.
get his ideas
Woo!
inside his brain and never say them again. Now, respect to Rob.
That's got the
Martin,
double for the
obviously,
win? Last
Associated
second?
Press. He's the one that.
Hell yeah? Didn't
AP
realize?
Cone is an AP voter, so we got nothing but love for old Rob Motti reporting the news. But Jeff Milner needs to have less power or say in any conversations that he's having. We don't need this just because kickers have gotten good. All right, people like the points.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have no points for the first 5 weeks of the season, Jeff? Is that what you want? You want this thing to be 0-0? Let's make it harder for the only people that were scoring at the beginning of this NFL season? Hey, Jeff, shove it. Okay? Shove it. Shove it deep in a desk. Go ahead and never open it again, and let's move along. I will say the NFL has been thinking about this for a while, I think. Because the Pro Bowl that I went to out at Arizona, me and Vinatieri were both voted to the Pro Bowl. First time I think it happened since Sebastian Janikowski and Shane Leckler, although we weren't allowed to be on the same team because obviously they were doing drafts at that time. You know, it's not AFC, NFC, it's not in Hawaii, it's everything that's not good. Okay, that's what it's going to be. But they wanted to put the smaller uprights in for the Pro Bowl. And I'll tell you what, they didn't tell Vinny or anybody until very late. And it's like, what do we... Can I not just hit the ball through the uprights here? Have a pretty good time?
Who does it benefit? I don't understand who benefits.
Big goalpost, because they got to make all
Jeff-
brand new goalposts.
Yep.
Big
I guess it benefits
goalposts.
Everybody that hates kickers, you know, which
So guys, me too. Right above you.
Let's make sure he cleared that up.
OS still down. Triple kill. Might be able to get this Ovi.
Ah! To miss a kick. Like I feel horrible when I watch a guy miss a kick. I think of like the
What?
which I guess that's not.
Why don't they put a pole up in the middle there?
That's
and
a
then
good
hit it
Yeah,
for
that'd
four.
be actually fun if
That'd
they
be
did that.
sweet.
Don't make them wider, but then put one pole in the middle.
Yeah, and then it's worth 4 if you hit the pole.
And if
Okay,
you call,
now we're talking. Cody
if
Parker,
you call
really
your
good at that?
side. Too.
Yeah,
If
declare
you call
your side.
Like, hey, I'm going right side here. Check this out. Then you get 5 points.
Oh, like the split the upper. Yes.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
There's a 10-pointer somewhere like top right of the upright.
If you land the ball on the upright, 10 points.
Like bottle flip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Every Jumbotron is forced to show a grid on the upright, and you can actually play tic-tac-toe with the kicks too throughout the entire game. You know, and by the fourth quarter, there, if you're able to get 3 in a row, that's a 6-pointer. You know, and the other team's kicker missed out. He should have maybe blocked that at least once or twice. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Speaking of things that technology is able to do, did you see Amazon showcasing what the coverage was last night? That was actually pretty sick.
That was sweet.
Oh yeah. It's pretty like
They're like,
can you imagine what their coverage is gonna be like 5-10 years from now?
the blitz, the one they have the little red circle on the blitzers.
They do that.
Yeah.
That's not always right. You know, that one seemingly is
They try.
not a hunt.
I like
not a
watching,
hundo.
I'll watch this alternate broadcast a good chunk of the game.
Yeah, especially with the commentary on and the views being what they are. But it's like, okay, so we got cover 1. Here's what they're saying. Got 1 safety. You don't have 2 high. What's quarterback going to do? It's like, if that's right and accurate, which I'm assuming they are going to be able to be, that's a massive like advantage while watching the game. Now, this is certainly going to add
Tighten
judgment.
this. Work on our comps here, guys. Me too. Right above you.
How do you not know?
It's true. This makes it look so
Enemy has captured Charlie.
OS is still down. Triple kill. Might be able to get this Ovi. Ah! I got him.
Weak in top A. One whirlpool. There's 2 left. There's a guy on you.
Amazon is continuing.
One back, Hydro.
I will say I got a text from Grove Street. He's not happy that I went over to baseball and didn't come back.
Well,
Wait, he really, do you think he honestly thought you were sticking around with that one though?
I think he was wondering if I'd stay awake. The fact that I went public and said, it's not that I only stayed awake. I did. I went over to a different
I
sport.
chose to not watch.
I went over to a different platform.
wow. He gets it.
He gets it.
No, he doesn't. I'll tell you, the text I got, he does not
He
get
loves
it.
baseball. He loves
Yeah,
baseball.
he's basically.
I got him.
He is all the time.
Weak in top A. One whirlpool. There's 2 left. There's a guy on you.
Seahawks could really put the ball.
One back, Hydro. Tighten this. Work on our comps here, guys. Me too. Right above you.
The enemy has captured Charlie.
OS is still down. Triple kill. Might be able to get this Ovi. Ah! Pitch.
That you can't hit a fucking curveball. So why they
Guess
throw you
what?
a fastball?
If you're in 8th grade throwing a curveball, I'm hitting that thing 5,000 yards because you're not
Doesn't
throwing.
sound like it.
Sounds
Back
like
then,
that's a
back
lot.
then, 8th graders were not throwing curveballs. Now they.
As an adult or as an 8th grader, you're doing it? Like
As
right
an 8th
now,
grader.
you're hitting an 8th grader.
I'm saying when I was growing up in baseball, when I traveled baseball, an 8th grader did not have a fully developed curveball, so they'd throw you fastball changeups, but
bad ball.
not many curves.
It's funny you say that. I know a guy that wrote a book about this entire thing here. You know, too many pitches as a young boys here in America, which is potentially leading to the Japanese invasion of the Major League Baseball system. That's Jet Passan. Didn't he write a book about this pitching in the summer and everything that's
arm,
happening to the arms?
Really?
Yeah. So your story is one that I think a lot of people tell. in the American baseball world. I don't think yours is the same as everybody else's because you clearly could not hit the fucking curveball.
Yeah,
that
bingo.
that is
I don't
clearly
think
what
I
it
could.
was.
If I ever faced a decent one, you're right. I probably wouldn't.
I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody could hit that riser I was being pitched by that Oklahoma fast pitch softball player as well.
Seems impossible. Seems impossible.
That thing, how's anybody hit that thing?
Good question.
Legitimately. That thing started at my knees, ended at my jaw.
And the mound looks like it's like 12 feet in front of you, too.
Yeah, and it's like, whew, you think you're getting hit with it every time. They say the only way to beat it is to not swing because it's probably going to be a ball. But it's like the ump is going to see that much action on the ball and not call it a strike. I don't think so. You know, I think that's a good pitch. Deserve a strike. Absolutely. Baseball is much more difficult, I think, than I've ever given credit for. But the fact that they're hitting balls in big time numbers is the reason why we're watching. This goes back to Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, when they were eating all of the steroids and hitting balls out of the stadium every single night. Everybody was watching. That's what this postseason feels like. Are the pitchers worse right now or are the hitters better, Ty?
I think the hitters are probably better. And then again, it's just like everyone throws so fucking hard that it's you got a guy like Judge who's 6'7", 285, you know, and if he makes contact on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, like there's a good chance he's going to hit it a long way. Same deal. Shohei is absolutely massive. So is Stanton. So, but like a lot of these other guys, I mean, guys have just gotten a lot better. If you throw that hard and you throw it right down the middle and guys don't miss, like they're going to hit it a long way.
Also, besides Garrett Cole, like there's no true ace left in these playoffs. Like as far as pitching goes, like as far as the staffs, like the
So how long are guys pitching?
Cleveland's
like
all starters. Most of their starters are hurt. The Dodgers have a bunch of hurt arms. There's no true ace besides Garrett Cole, obviously.
Yeah, the Guardians manager even said like his limit is like he wants if he can get a starter to go 5 innings, he's not going to leave a guy in longer than that because their bullpen's so good because
they're hitting bombs.
Oh yeah,
and it's matter of fact off the bat for all of them.
Yeah,
like Merry Christmas right there. As soon as that thing Shohei gone, see ya. He knows it. The home run he hit the night before. That went top shelf or whatever. He pointed at the bench like immediately upon the ball being gone. Christmas here knows it's gone. See ya. Fry, when he hits the game winner, he knows it's gone. Like, boom, gone. See ya. It's over. There's no doubters happening like every night in massive situations. Good for baseball, man. These pitchers need to suck more, I think, throughout the season.
Amen.
That's what needs to happen. They suck a little bit. Everyone wants to see the long ball, brother.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see the long ball.
Yeah, everyone wants to see. We want to see the stars. We want to see the stars hit grand slams and home runs when it matters, and that's what we're getting right now.
Yeah. Well, all these hitters are telling these pitchers right here, Fafo, dude.
Yep.
Fafo.
No,
Funk around.
They're stealing signals, aren't they? Aren't they stealing signs?
Nah, that's
tipping
old,
off pitches.
That's old ball. That's old.
No, I mean now, not illegally, but if you can watch it, you can.
Oh yeah,
pick it up.
pitchers will still tip their pitches a little bit.
Like where the glove is. All
Yeah.
that.
Shit. He left another shirt here. Another mantra.
What?
Oh. AJ, I think this is you talked about off-season mantras and everything.
Yeah.
This one's a sweet one here. Okay, so it's black on black, so it might be tough. Respect all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what's coming. You know what's coming.
Fear none. Yep.
Fear none. Fear none.
That's got to be the off-season workout shirt.
Custom cut
Has
jobs
to
for
be.
you too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm more of a. Never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, it's Texas.
Closer to the nips.
Hook 'em.
Yeah, I like a little bit of sauce on the cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just on the yarn. I like
He's one shot actually.
Another one over there.
Two dead.
Airflow.
Breathe. Yeah, this is not the most comfortable shirt. I love it though. I will wear it to work out and do things going forward. And I'll walk into a weight room and I'll look at each individual weight and I'll say, huh? Right now. Huh?
Each one.
Each individual dumbbell, kettlebell, you name it. Everything I'm gonna say right here. You look at me sideways this morning, you're about to find out. But it is a little bit uncomfortable here under these lights. Let's I've had to pee for 45 minutes.
Take a break
today,
and
so
come back.
Thanks
and
for
do
taking a
picks.
break.
Let's do that.
What time? This is cool. I talked about the clock. It's fun. It is.
You got an analog?
It reminds me.
Analog
big
clock or
watch.
what?
It's a big watch. It's like fifth. You know, it takes me back to like elementary school when you look up at the clock and have to figure out how much time you got until you're allowed to get the hell out of here
Bingo.
and go sell cigs or whatever. You know?
Sure.
Exactly.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
All right, good. Afterwards, we'll do our picks, though, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we're seeing the field. Let's not. Hey, and last night, public money, Tone, right? Won.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah, there it is.
That's
That's beautiful setup.
9 straight road
Thank you.
favorites have won, so that's huge.
Yeah, but how much money was on? 85% of the money last night was
Yep.
on Broncos?
Yep, 80, 85.
So bad for the books?
Yes, bad for the books. Still bad for the books.
And it went over.
Yeah, it did.
So what's that, 10-0 straight? That was weekend.
It was 7-2 2 weeks ago. Last week was 8 or 9-0. So yeah, and then this week's obviously 1-0 to start.
Damn, that's
10
gonna make the
straight.
clip too
Wow.
long.
Yeah,
10
that's
straight
yes.
public.
Yes.
That's huge
Good for us.
because of how the season started. Yeah. So let's assume that we are the dipshits that are just going to side with the public mostly. It feels like
Damn
we're
it, I
hot
just
right now.
put the wrong
That's
one.
good.
We are.
Let's make these picks.
Let's make these picks after. You can go take a leak. We'll come back, take a quick 3 to 5. You good, Pat?
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
You said you had
I got him.
What are you thinking?
Weak in top A. One whirlpool. It's you left. There's a guy on you.
There's no way you're heading.
One back glasses or
So from your eyeball,
Pitch. Pitch.
half an inch.
I don't know. I haven't measured them lately, AJ. I'll make sure I do that.
To be clear, Gumpy had a pair of sunglasses. He was prepared.
They look
This is not a bad
good.
joke.
And they look good.
That's a great.
They're
I'm not
good
saying it's bad.
frames.
What do you mean?
Good
He's
frames.
a handsome guy. I'm not saying anything bad. I just didn't know.
The internet had their jokes earlier about what I look like, and I do understand. I'm the one that forgot to say this thing though. Like if I was to put them where I actually put them, I saw on the plane, not even really making it to my ear is a wild. I do feel like I picked these up at a kid's store, but these are Gumps, and he had an extra pair, and I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful in Texas. This is on me, not on Gumpy. Jeez Louise.
Okay.
Jeez. Gumpy didn't deserve that. Okay? Gumpy had a speaker this morning, 100% power on that flight.
Hell
He
yeah.
turned that music all the way up.
What
We were
about his-
rocking
What was
from
he- what about his-
Indiana.
What was he playing?
What about his phone?
Well, the phone does,
I haven't fucking done with it, okay?
phone does not work.
Can't take it. I'm losing my mind with no phone.
SOS it says, and I think that means just shitty out service for him, or all of it. This guy's been going through it with his phone. He has a Canadian phone. You see, we should have known there's no chance it works in Texas.
No
we
way.
should have known
They
that.
don't let that in there.
You need to take those
Yeah.
off.
What are you talking
It
about?
looks like it's cutting off the blood flow to your head.
Well, I've been pretty red here. It's hot as shit, you know, and I naturally run red,
That's
and it's only
football.
been, yeah, it is Texas. So, and then the orange right behind me, not good. You know, nothing's really good for me here. nothing was going to be a good setup. Let alone the red right here, you know, and then the orange here, and then what my natural flavor is of white, and then you add these glasses on. People were letting jokes fly, AJ. People were letting their jokes fly. Let's see who's laughing after we make these picks, and I bet 1,000. Okay, we're already both 1-0. Same with Chuck. Chuck is now 6-1
Huge.
on Thursday Night Football against the spread. Let's continue to win, AJ, on the other side.
Yes, let's continue and win. We'll take a quick 3 or 5. Come on back.
Well, nonetheless, as of February 1st, Pat McAfee is officially a contributor with WWE.
Living his dream to be a part of WrestleMania.
I want to see Pat McAfee tonight.
I've been preparing for this my entire life.
McAfee wins! McAfee wins! Pat McAfee has done it again! It's time to toast the boys and toast the brand. McAfee's wanted to drink beer with Stone Cold forever. Stunner!
There was a point in my life, all I could think about doing was professional wrestling.
McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory.
First, we're going to have to get the okays, obviously. And we did from people high up. They were the only people that knew for a while. There was like 3 people that knew in the whole world that was going to potentially be a situation for a little bit. City of Stars, Boston Connors here. We will be there tonight. Everybody's supposed to know we're here. It's going to be tough. And if you're a man that's only known for wearing tank tops, you kind of got to cover it up. Look around. There's some bunk beds there. You know, there's a shitter and a shower here in the back. He sat in that bus 6, 7, 8 hours, 9, 10 hours. I'll be talking about that thing. Holy fuck, what a view that's gonna be. Hell yeah. Those fucking people are gonna be there. Just waiting, you know, for an opportunity to potentially have a WrestleMania moment. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. WWE is just like the best at operating. They take care of the non-obvious. We're very thankful to be here. And tonight should be rocking. I think there's like 3 people that know here.
Are we not supposed to come in here?
No, yeah. 4 now. Look at you.
Wouldn't say a word.
I'll see you at SoFi. You gonna be in LA?
I don't know, George. Is it? You know,
It's a loaded question.
George, we don't know. George, we don't know. Maybe.
What's up, Stud? Oh, nice.
As soon as I saw George showcase that tight end University tank top, I knew everybody told George about it.
Are you kidding, boys? Welcome to WrestleMania!
You know, the night was getting late. We didn't know if a moment was going to pop up where maybe my services could be utilized. I haven't been in a ring since SummerSlam. Okay, like not even in one. All I wanted was the Miz to have an opportunity to have a WrestleMania match. Yeah,
Good guy, stand there.
And then the Miz mentions, I sent out an open challenge, and we go, there it is.
And I put out an open challenge, and no one responded. Why? Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. Let's go.
Wait a minute! I feel McAfee's here!
I got him.
Weak in top A. One whirlpool. He's 2 left, 2 left, 2 left. There's a guy on you.
WrestleMania was missing Pat McAfee in the Pat McAfee show!
And I'm thankful to the WWE Universe that said hello whenever I came out on that massive fucking stage.
By the way, there's only 2 announcers undefeated in WrestleMania history, me and Pat. I can't believe McAfee's here!
Hello, beautiful people.
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, Snoop?
You're a legend, Doe. You're the best, Doe. Hello, Miz. None of us saw this alleged open challenge that you set. But, good news. This is my WrestleMania tank top. If you still would like a match, why don't you let me beat your ass right here, right now? You all want to
It's so cheesy. That's one thing I don't like about WWE is it's just so cheesy. It's so cheesy. It's all corny and shit like that. I'm all for like the actual wrestling part of it, even if it is like choreographed to some degree and like they know who's gonna win or whatever. That part's relatively entertaining, but it's this bullshit fake like trash talk before the matches and like the whole like you fucked my girlfriend, so I'm gonna beat your ass, like that kind of shit. And it's like, can we just wrestle? Like, why do we need all the fake drama? I mean, if there was real drama, like if the wrestlers really had actual beef, then like whatever. But when it's clearly like choreographed and like put together, it's like, what are we doing?
has to be able to make a match official somewhere.
I am the dog father and the host of WrestleMania, so I feel like I can make that match happen. Right now, we got a ref, we got you, let's get cracking. I'm out. Let's go.
And McAfee, go right after Miz with the right hand, driving Miz back into the corner. Pat McAfee in action. This is a blatant sneak attack.
Corner.
I got him.
Weak in top A. One whirlpool. He's 2 left, 2 left, 2 left. There's a guy on you.
One back, I'll go.
Bitch.
Titans. Turn on comps, you guys need too. Right above you.
OS is still down. Triple kill. Might be able to get this Obi. Ah! He's one shot actually.
Another one over there.
2 dead.
Corner.
I got him.
Weak in top A. One whirlpool. There's two left. There's a guy.
A surprise here tonight, and WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends.
Hawk sitting in for Pat here in India as he's down in Austin, Texas for a huge matchup tomorrow, Georgia, Texas, at DKR Field. Football!
Ends. This is the way the world ends.
I would assume, I don't know if you guys see any laser pointers. I just told the boys over here, there's been a group of men, a small group here of phenomenal human beings that have stopped by. And AJ, I mean, is this real?
Is Bevo
Could you
loose?
imagine?
Yeah, Bevo loose in the building.
On the concourse?
Did Glenn Powell just get there?
Glenn Powell might be too hot because Glenn Powell got here, had his shirt off. Prince of on the field walking around. As soon as I saw Prince, this started though. So he might have been, his electricity might have been a part of it. But the boys that have joined us over here, whatever the case is. Maybe that's why this could be happening. There's a guy named Jaden here on the far left. His family is from Greenwood, Indiana. He's a Colts fan, far left side right there. Next to him, Tate Moore. You see this guy? He's wearing an AJ Hawk jersey, AJ.
Wow.
This guy's got a Hawk jersey on down here in Texas.
Wow.
Absolutely loves it. And then you got Bruce and Chris there next to him. These boys are from all.
Let's
Bruce
go.
is born 5 minutes from here. Hey, I've seen them there, and then Chris is living in South Carolina, but born and raised here. They watch the program,
That's
obviously. They're big fans. It's great to see you. Boys, I think you should probably get out of here.
This is the way the world ends.
Hook 'em. They're excited. You can hear them, obviously. It's hard to hear them over the emergency announcement about us needing to leave the stadium and take the stairwells, not the elevator, but let's assume it means nothing. You know, let's assume it means nothing.
This.
Yeah, the people on the field behind you aren't scrambling, so you should be all right.
I'm a little bit worried. We might be FAFOing right now.
Yeah,
You know, we might be FAFOing with Fade here. I need a DoorDash, potentially, you know, a helmet at least. I mean,
This is the way the world ends.
Yeah, jump in.
Nobody is stressed. There's got to be a rehearsal. So let's just act like nothing's happening.
Yeah,
let's just act like nothing's
let's just do our. You want to do our picks?
You know what? Let's DoorDash our picks to these people.
Let's get the double for the win last second. Oh yeah,
Hey,
didn't
your
realize.
answer of saying I'm DoorDashing a plunger the other day.
Yeah.
so real in 2024. Whenever Greg asked that question about whenever you drop a massive dump and clog a toilet at a friend's house, what do you do? And JJ
This is the way the world
I
ends.
think there were some other answers. You immediately said DoorDash, a plunger, which I might need to do if these sirens keep going off. Feels like I'm in a horror film.
Yeah.
You know, it is a pretty
This.
spooky voice. It sounds like one of those
Like the Purge?
like yeah,
Yeah, it does.
Purge,
It is Purge.
or maybe like a game like you're in what's that
Yeah.
one?
Squid
I would
Games.
like to play a game. Squid Games?
That
Yeah,
is.
like a Squid Game one. Yep, that whole
Fallout.
thing. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I don't know if this is the message, how they should be delivering this message. I know they're rehearsing it. I think they should have a little bit more of a
urgency.
It's gonna
This
freak people
is the
out.
way the world ends.
Get the fuck out. A little bit more Texas. There's southern accent.
This is the way the world ends.
McConaughey should
I think-
record his.
Bingo. Like, I think everybody in here is going to be like, lady, I don't want to hear it. But if you drop a little, like, sounds like one of us, you know, maybe there's a little bit more.
That's freaking out.
reaction.
Y'all need to get.
Yeah.
Bingo.
There's trouble.
By Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Have the lights do what they're doing up here and have McConaughey pop up there and go, y'all need to get now. You hear it? There's
That'd be sweet.
and he does a whole song and dance.
Trouble on the
I feel like that.
horizon.
Yeah, this one I don't know if this is Texas, but there's people climbing poles, light poles over here. There's people on the field. It seems like nobody's worried. And Bruce, Chris, Jaden, and Tamor are certainly not worried about it at all. So I think we just move along with our picks and just act like you can't hear what's going on behind us.
Nice.
I think that's probably the right move.
There we go. All right, first one up, we got the Patriots taking on the Jags. This one is in London, so 9:30 a.m. Eastern kick. Here we go. Patriots or Jags?
I'll take the Patriots just because, you know, I don't like that the Jags are 6-point favorites. Connor, what the hell happened?
No, I love it. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson kind of questionable. He did make the trip, though. Should be something to keep an eye on. And then also defense has just been kind of tough since Juwan Bentley got hurt with the pec injury. But I expect big things, huge things from Drake, man. Like I said, I think he's going to break every rookie passing record that you can. I don't know which ones qualify, especially with all the bullshit stats these days, but Drake's going to have the best one of all time.
They're not bullshit. They just don't make sense sometimes.
He's going to complete the most percentage of passes. Jesus Christ. The highest percentage of passes over. I'm pumped for it. Big things Sunday morning.
I guess there is a kitchen situation happening somewhere, hopefully not directly below me. But from what I've been told is there's a kitchen sitch brewing somewhere. Hopefully everybody's okay and they figure it out. Obviously, I don't think Jaden, Tamor, Bruce, or Chris are part of the staff that need to be fixing this because they have not moved a muscle. But hopefully everything gets kind of sorted out. I'll take the Patriots, AJ.
All right, I will take the Patriots as well. 6 points just seems disrespectful almost. Like that. Like what are we doing? So yeah, I'm with
Not
the
sure if ETN is playing either, but take Bigsby's also nasty.
Oh, I think we're done.
Nope, I just muted the mic.
You're gonna ride the levels. All right, Dolphins taking on the Colts. Here we go in the Loud House. Here we go. This is a 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox.
Yes.
Not Tom Brady.
This is the way the world ends.
Oh, he won! Woo! That's got the double for the win. Last second.
He's sussing.
Oh, yeah.
Tossing for you.
Hey, Dairy Queen and on the field. I think he's going to do good. Give me the Indianapolis Colts, obviously, in the Loud House.
Yeah, I got to take the Colts here too. 3-point favorites at home.
The world ends.
Oh, he won! Woo! That's got the double for the win. Last second.
Hutchinson, no move.
Hell yeah! Didn't
Hey,
realize.
Foxy, that Max Crosby. That
Yeah.
get you guys a little bit excited, huh, Bob?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I thought there was a 0% chance that the Lions would get Max Crosby, and then I saw that video you're talking about, and now I think there's definitely a chance that they're snooping around a little bit.
Yeah, because he said, I'm here to win. I'm not here to rebuild. Wherever I am, I'm going to be there to win. I'm going to be here.
Oh, that was pretty. Oh, he won! Woo! That's got the double for the win. Last second.
Be bold, Brady.
Oh yeah, didn't realize.
Max Crosby out of here.
Yeah, Tom Brady hands-on from what we've been told by Lombo. Lions, Vikings, I'll take the Lions.
This is the way the world ends.
Is Jamie Erdahl doing the horn? Is that this weekend?
Ooh, it might be.
Or is it
This.
against Colts maybe? Whatever the case, I'll take the Lions going in there.
All right, you know what? I'm going to take Sam Darnold and the Vikings here at home. I think it should be a good
This
game.
is the way.
But as we move on, Tennessee taking on Buffalo in Buffalo, and Tennessee is 9.
Is the way the world.
A lot of points.
I will take the Buffalo Bills.
Is the
and
way
give me
the
a
world ends.
touchdown as well.
Yep.
I like it.
I'm with you. Give me the Bills. -9 at home. Why not? Here we go. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Seahawks are 3-point dogs on the road in Atlanta.
Are they on the road?
It's in Atlanta, yes.
Is it? I'm excited that Kirk Cousins
I don't know.
Yeah,
has
Actually,
become the.
with that, what Kirk said, yeah, what is this?
Yeah, that's why it didn't make sense to
Are
me
we sure?
yesterday when I heard. No, it's in Atlanta.
Oh.
Really? So he's saying that.
What's this about?
Seattle's coming to walk in his trap.
And he said we gotta protect this trap.
Yep.
Kirk's trap.
Fun fact about Pat McAfee. I believe my mother was pregnant in the upstairs of a trap house. As soon as my parents moved out of said house, massive drug raid, I guess. So shout out to the cops. Not going in there while I was inside my mom's tummy. My little brother, or my older brother, was growing up in there. And speaking of trap houses, I believe if Kirk Cousins is the head chef at said trap house, they're going to continue to do well. I will take the Atlanta Falcons, favored by 3 at home against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you here. Falcons at home, 3-point favorites. Yeah, give me them. That was a move.
Why is Kirk saying that, though?
What was the question that they asked him? Like, what prompted
Don't
that
know.
response?
Maybe Kirk isn't familiar with what the line means.
Yeah, maybe it's just
No,
like,
he
hey,
was
what's
very
your
comfortable. He was very comfortable.
favorite quote, maybe? And he was like, of course.
Like you're doing a Mad Libs? Remember Mad Libs?
Oh, yeah.
me too.
Yeah, I think it was like John 3:16 and then walking your trap secret.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Mad Libs, when's the pod coming back? Is that you guys season 2? When's that?
It's on its way.
Yeah.
We were actually having some early meetings yesterday.
In the writer's room yesterday.
About it.
So, but you know how these things
Yeah.
go. You know how long these things take. You know, you want a good product, you're gonna have to,
Flush it out.
shuck a few oysters, they say.
We're not just gonna go wheel the ball out there and play. You know.
How many meetings have we had? Writing meetings.
I mean,
How many
shit,
is it?
20, 25.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we're
there's
near
been a
the
lot.
end.
You actually,
season.
you actually sat in on one yesterday, Pat. What we were
Remember?
doing after the show yesterday. That was a good,
Remember?
that was a pretty good writer's
Wait,
room
see,
process.
Wait till you hear what was developed this morning.
I was gonna say, special little treat. Might send it to you after the show.
And look at your reaction. Look at your reaction. You're laughing. So people know.
Season 2 is going to be good.
Bang.
Yep.
Season 2 is going to be good. How did AJ get in the writers'
Yep.
room?
Oh
this
yeah.
morning?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He got a heavy dose.
Saw a sneak peek at
As soon as he
the
walked in.
future.
I wasn't there this morning.
Saw a sneak peek of a few
Oh,
very
no.
tasty developments.
So is that going to be on the? That stuff's going to be for the pod.
Yeah.
Is that, okay. Hey,
Pod season 2.
I eagerly await
Listen, if
season 2
Shane,
of
if
the
Shane
pod.
Gillis could do it, we can do it too.
Oh boy.
No, that is not accurate.
Not how it works.
That is not accurate. All right, let's
fun
move
writers'
along.
room, by the
I'm
way.
happy to hear that.
Oh, that was really.
Texans
Oh, he won.
to Lambeau taking on the Packers. The Texans 2.5-point dogs on the road. Who you got?
Ty, this past
Oh, that was really. Oh, he won. Ooh! That's got the double for the win last second.
all the way settled in, right? Is
Oh
that
yeah,
how you
didn't
do it?
realize.
Yeah, I think they're starting to hit their stride a little bit. Jordan Love's fully healthy, and he looked much better last week. Granted, the Cardinals aren't great, but the way their defense have been playing, I know C.J. Stroud he's not careless with the ball, but they lead the NFL in takeaways, and Lambeau, at least so far this year, has felt like it's a home field advantage again. So, and obviously, no Nico Collins is massive for the Packers as well.
I love CJ. When was CJ on? Last week? 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Everything's kind of blending together.
Last
Nico Collins last week. Nico, massive. Whoa. AJ, which way you're going with the Packers? I assume.
Yeah, even like obviously I'm somewhat biased because I played there for a while, but I love what the Packers are doing. Honestly, when I watch Jordan Love and their offense, like, he spreads the ball around, and then how their defense takes it away. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of what they're doing.
All right, I'll take the win in Lambeau. CJ Wood, go ahead.
Did you
That's
see
fun.
the Jair and Diggs thing too? They have a nice little rivalry. There was the clip that came out that was from either last season or 2 years ago, where Jair and Stephon Diggs were running onto the field from the tunnel in Buffalo, just jawing at each other.
remember that.
face to
Happened,
face.
yeah.
That was 2 years ago when Rodgers was still there.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So that is a nice little matchup as well to look forward to on Sunday.
Also,
And
hope.
it feels like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, hopefully with Brandon McManus, maybe a couple of those, kicks that the Packers had been missing. Expect those to go through this week.
Welcome back to the league, Brandon McManus. A lot happened there.
Yeah.
And I think the NFL did their investigation, right? Is what they said.
Yep.
And that was an NFL plane, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you would assume that they literally talked to everybody, So for McManus, I assume mentally he is very excited to be back on a football team after all this. And I think you guys should give him like a week or two. I know you won't, especially because he's a veteran or whatever. But there might be a little bit. I mean, mentally, that's heavy stuff, Especially if you feel as if you're innocent through it all and how public it was. And McManus was a part, like, Super Bowl champion. He's been around the NFL a long time. I think he's NFLPA member. Like, he's, So for everything that happened, almost seemingly quickly, for the NFL to do their investigation, and once again, we did not do our own investigation, so I guess that's on us. But the NFL doing it and coming out and saying, like, hey, this is how he's good to get back into a game, I think is a big deal for him. I do think you guys having a kicker is massive for you going forward. McManus has been a great kicker in the league for a long time. I'll take the Packers as well. I want to take the Texans there, though, bad. I want to take the Texans bad right there. Real bad.
It's a good matchup. That could be a Sunday night game.
Yeah.
I'll take the Texans.
Okay. All right. You take the Texans.
This is the way the world ends.
1 o'clock, beautiful day at Lambeau, beautiful fall day. Like, that's going to be picturesque, as they say.
So it's noon for both of them, right? Because that's Central Time.
Yeah. Yep.
But Houston's used to it. That's not that big of a deal. CJ will, if he knows Stephon, right, and Jair have a thing, CJ feels like a quarterback that will want his guy to win, that type of shit.
Yep.
All right, I'll take the Texans. It's a good game, though.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
And unlike last week when AJ said it was going to be a beautiful fall day and it was pouring to start the game,
What was that
this
about?
week is actually supposed to be like 75 and sunny.
Yeah, and the Packers are wearing their winter storm warning all white alternate uniforms. So
Okay.
a lot of people are excited about that as well.
Do we call them Winter Storm?
Yes,
I will
they
take
are.
the Packers.
Oh, you're...
I will take the Packers.
Okay, take the Packers.
Yep,
All
boom,
right,
Winter
here we
Storm
go.
warning.
We're both on the pack. All right. What?
I just don't think they'll lose that game.
Yeah, I don't either. That's
Jordan
right.
Love doesn't feel like a guy that's going to lose that game.
Not
That
in the
doesn't feel
all
like a
whites.
thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All whites, big game, massive. But wait, CJ? I don't. Is he going to walk in your trap?
Take your trap.
I would take the. I'll take the Texans.
Okay.
Man, and
He's got
storm warning.
You got the Texans, right?
Yeah, I'll take the Texans.
Bang.
Dumpy, who do you like? Do you like?
I like the Texans.
Oh.
All right, I'll go with Texans.
Okay.
All right, I'll go with the Texans.
You got the Texans. I
Bengals,
got
Browns.
the pack. Here we go. Bengals, Browns.
Battle of Ohio.
Bengals are 5.5
fun one.
favorites on the road in Cleveland. Are the Browns going to turn it on? I've been reading stuff on the internet. They said they might have found something this week in practice.
This is the way the world ends.
They think they might be able to
Yeah,
turn it on.
they like dug a hole and
unlock
found
the
some
offense.
stuff in the ground. Yeah, they found like a hidden treasure.
Yeah.
Lost the lead.
Oh, that was really. Oh, he won! Woo! That's got the double for the win last second. Hell yeah! Didn't realize.
3-point favorites on the road. What are you thinking here?
Favorites on the road. What's that stat that came out this morning? It's a big one.
The over 60%, or sorry, favorites on the road were just 9-0 in their last, 9.
Against the spread?
No. Oh yes. Sorry.
I'll take the Eagles.
Yep. Give me the
This is the way the world ends.
Lost the lead.
Oh, that was really. Oh, he won! Woo! That's got the double for the win last second.
Mentality all week.
Hell
I
yeah!
don't think they
Didn't
just got
realize.
comfortable. I assume things are a little tense potentially at the Eagles building. Need to get another one. I'll take the Eagles. And Bruce, Jesus Christ, 32-10. Is that what he said?
42.
42.
Oh my.
Maybe alternate spread that thing to 28.5.
Yep. Split Danny
Yeah, I
down
guess so.
for
a nice pick six. You know, probably pretty aesthetically pleasing, very funny, amusing.
What
pick
happened?
six the
You
other
guys
way.
didn't look terrible against the Bengals.
No, no,
Bruce.
this is just the beginning of the end, Gump. You know
Are you
it,
having
I
fun?
know it.
I don't.
Are you happy?
Bruce?
Are you
Come
happy,
on.
Bruce?
Is the tailgate fun?
Yeah, the tailgate was fun.
Still got the Raiders.
Yeah. No, the Raiders are in a good spot. He's got the Yankees. That's all Bruce.
Right.
That's right.
Rangers are buzzing too. Beat the shit out of the Red Wings last night.
Wow. I didn't know that happens to the Red Wings every night. I didn't know that.
The Red Wings don't start playing hockey till there's snow on the ground. Everyone knows that.
That's why they never
storm
make the
is coming.
playoffs.
Ain't that right?
That was annoying as fuck.
No.
Boom. What?
All right.
Panthers traveling to
Who
Washington.
are you taking, AJ?
Oh, I took the Eagles. I'm taking them. Yeah. I mean, after
Okay.
Bruce was bringing endorsement of the Giants, I'm not going to switch my pick now.
Yeah, he wasn't bringing the boom on that one.
No, he wasn't. Hey, how long have they been big though? Like for real?
I mean,
Well,
AJ's been
how long
pretty
is-
jacked for quite some time.
How
my
long have you
friend.
been keeping track of time?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When did they really gain all their traction?
The Mayan calendar, AJ? Yeah.
Right, I stay corrected.
Still
I thought it was-
bringing it.
Thought it was
Boom!
Yeah, and they're still so young.
what they do.
They bring the boom.
They bring the boom to you.
I guess it will be a fun case study in what's it like for that guy when he's older, when you grow up.
Yeah, they
President
As a
of the United
professional
States.
wrestler.
Yeah,
The whole
Big
family
Gus?
is a
Probably
professional wrestler.
Right.
That is what the case study is here.
That
And there's
or
a chance the
president.
wrestler is the president.
Yeah.
They call him the Rizzler. He's the Panther dressed in black.
I'm around people that love these guys too. So
He gives the Riz face.
Yeah,
Right
you're
now.
around those people right now, AJ.
I know that's
He
what
gives
I'm
the
saying.
he gives the
Everybody.
Riz face and what?
You know what?
There's no chance your girl coming back.
Yeah, your girl ain't coming back.
I've seen him do all his BMX tricks.
Yeah, four-leaf
Four-leaf clover.
The four-leaf clover.
I haven't seen that. There's more to learn. I
He's
guess.
think of like.
So you're
X-
gonna-
Oh, damn,
you're
iPad
gonna
on.
sit down to
That
watch it.
totally came out. I mean, that,
Well,
yeah.
of course, whenever Big Costco comes
Damn it.
on my screen, I find the nearest seat because I know heat's coming, bub.
A lot of
Little
booms.
Costco, are we talking about the Riz or Little Costco?
Riz.
Who's
Riz.
The,
Rizzler.
the Riz is a BMXer?
Oh,
he's a former pro.
With the
Nitro Circus
with
brought
the
him in.
pegs. He's got all the
He's
pegs.
6 years old. What do you mean he's a former? He's,
I
I don't
thought he
even
was
know the
30.
kid's
No,
mom.
he's only 6.
No, he's
The Rizzler?
nine.
Yeah.
He's 9.
Well, like remember Milanakis back in the day?
Andrew?
He was that was a case study.
No, he was older. He was
Beans on his head. Don't call him a
he was much older.
Yeah, he had a condition.
Oh, okay. Look at the Riz. Here we go.
Oh, look at the
Is this the X
Riz.
Games?
There it is.
This
No
an
one
anthem.
hand.
No hander.
He's got no pegs. I don't. This is not good for the.
Oh, no, this ain't his bike.
One
This
hand,
ain't
one
his
hand.
bike.
The amount of way I do it.
Here's the four-leaf clover.
Four-leaf clover's all you need to.
Oh! See ya!
Yeah, you're seeing it right, Pat. You're seeing it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with the Riz not being a BMXer.
What are you talking
And I don't like that.
Boom! Everyone do it. Four-leaf clover.
Is that Pastrana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Pastrana?
Yeah.
Nitro Circus? Mm-hmm. That's how I do my bike tricks.
Got
One hand.
Triple
One
back. He's got a triple
hand.
backflip coming.
One hand.
He's got a
Next
backflip.
is probably a no-hander, I guess.
Boom. Boom.
Up,
Matt Hoffman's there too.
up.
Oh boy.
I love Matt Hoffman, Travis Pastrana.
Burnquist.
I think
Bob.
bingo.
Mira.
I think
Dave
they
Mira.
even got.
Yeah. Wow.
He's dead.
I think they even got. Rest in peace. Liam Payne too. He died yesterday. Rest in peace.
He did.
One Direction kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that's sad.
That was sad. That was sad. That was sad.
Sad.
What happened? I don't know what happens there. That stuff's crazy. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. Well, he's not. I hope his family's okay.
Well, he's not. I hope his family's okay. Jesus Christ,
Dude, out
Pat.
of nowhere, the guy just goes on vacation. And that's wild. That's crazy. I guess this happens a lot, but to a celeb, that's wild.
My views have just died off this morning. Oh well,
Rest
big
in
deal.
peace, Liam. Rest in peace.
For real.
You did good, bro.
Let's check all the socials real quick.
Panthers, Commanders. Commanders favored by 8. That could be 20, and I take them. Give me the Commanders.
Okay, give me. 20, I might change, but at 8, I'm going to take the Commanders here at home.
I will take it at 8. I will take it at 8. I don't want it at 20.
All right.
All right, I think we're both on the
Well,
same.
I have got to go use the restroom, so the stream is going to end for now. I'll be back on in a couple hours to actually play. But yep, GG's. Much love to everybody. Hold up. I only got 2 viewers on Facebook or on Twitch, but we're gonna go rate them out to somebody. Might is fucking well, dude.
Have a big day, right? I mean, he always does. But like, he'll be even extra chip, extra motivation.
What was the record I saw? Stafford's like 1-5 and something. What was it? His name, it was in the group, I think. I think it was in the group. Maybe it was on the internet. Not 100% sure.
I mean, is Max Crosby playing quarterback? That's the only question we have to ask.
I saw Aiden O'Connell take a shot from TJ Watt and deliver a dime over the middle.
Yeah, he did.
It was a good throw.
2 days ago. 2 days ago, I saw that. We're trying to make TJ Watt look good. The only person I saw was the guy with the mustache who never leaves the pocket.
That's right.
I guess he has.
Not once.
Not once.
Well,
Not
whatever.
one
Just gonna
pass
get off then.